We've now got the second episode of The Mandalorian Season 1. It's titled The Child. It's shorter than half an hour, which really kind of get me a bit scared for the rest of the season. I hope they become longer. I can't imagine they're going to get longer, but I really hope they do get longer. But anyways, if you haven't seen this episode, do not watch this review. It's going to be a spoiler review, so if you haven't seen the episode and you want to, don't watch this review. But if you can always come back and watch this review after. So let's talk about it. The episode really kicks off and he's kind of walking through some canyon with Baby Yoda, and then it was either 3 or 4, I'm not really sure how many, but there was a few bounty hunters came and they started attacking him, trying to get to Baby Yoda, and of course he killed them, really showing that he is a very good bounty hunter. But then he gets back to his ship and we see that Jawas are actually like taking apart his ship, and it was kind of like, okay, it felt like as soon as that started happening, I'm like, okay, not only are they kind of shoving Star Wars stuff in our face just because it's Star Wars, like, oh, you've got to see Star Wars stuff, which I'm not complaining about, it just felt like that's what it was like, but also it kind of felt like a filler. This episode was very much, it felt like a filler episode. Now, we don't know it's going to be a filler episode until the end of the season, because this episode here could have set up a lot of stuff to come throughout the season, but just because this episode here, it felt very much like a filler, because like, if you take, so far we don't know how the story is going to end by the last episode of the season, but just looking at this episode itself, if I took it out, I don't feel like it's going to make much of a difference to the overall story. But just what we got there, it feels very much like a filler episode. Came to the Jawas, it kind of starts off a chase, which the chase reminded me very much of a video game. It kind of reminded me a lot of the Wreck-It Ralph game, when Fix Felix is kind of climbing up the building and they're just throwing stuff on it and stuff popping out all the time. It felt very much like that, because the Mandalorian was trying to climb up and they kind of just open up the little hatches, they came out, threw stuff at him or hit him or something, and he gets to the top, and it felt very much like a video game, and then he falls off. And my mind was like, okay, he's gonna get up, he's gonna fall down, and he's gonna get there eventually. But he falls off, and then he makes his way back to that guy from last season, or last episode. I don't know his name, but the guy who was like, I have spoken. And then, like, that's like that guy, he makes his way there, and then they make their way back to the Jawas, and they're like, he goes, give me back my stuff, and he goes, no, you have to pay, and he goes, well, I'm not paying you for my stuff, and they go, give me your armor, and the guy goes, no, I'm not going to give you my armor. So he has to go get an egg from some big rhino that kind of reminded me from the rhino from the Fantastic Beasts movie. But so he has to go get an egg from this rhino, and he fights the rhino, and the rhino is beating the crap out of him, like his armor is falling apart here. And just when you think it's about over, now they set it up at the start of the episode with the 4 bounty hunters, little Baby Yoda stands up and he uses the force to lift the rhino up. And I was like, okay, it makes sense. I don't think anyone thought this Yoda did not have the force powers. I assumed, because it's Baby Yoda, it's the second Yoda we've seen. I assumed it was going to have force powers. It'd be a bit odd if it didn't, because I think everyone was expecting it to have force powers, because why would they have, like, why would they be setting it up? Like, why would it be a Yoda if it didn't have force powers? Because otherwise having a Yoda for the sake of having a Yoda. I think the reason everyone's wanting to get this and to kill it is because it's got force powers, and it's going to be the force powers of the light side. But anyways, he gets the egg and he gives it to the Jawas and they crack it open, and it reminded me very much of a cream egg, because it was brown on the outside, the inside was all yellow. So I'm like, okay, it's just like, and they're all like devouring. I'm like, okay, they're just devouring a cream egg. And then it went on, he gets all his parts back, so they go back to the ship, and it kind of has a montage of them fixing the ship, and it's weird how perfect that ship gets back, because it looks like it was brand new and like nothing ever happened to it, but you see them bending pieces, everything, so that ship shouldn't look as nice as it did. So I thought that was a bit odd that the ship looked as well as it did beforehand. So he gets everything back, he says goodbye to that guy who also, I still cannot remember his name from last episode, but he says goodbye, and him, like the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda, fly off into space, and that was the end of the episode. And it was kind of disappointing, because as I said at the start of this, it felt very filler. We don't know what's going to happen next week's episode, so I'm intrigued about next week's episode, but I'm kind of let down about this episode, because I enjoyed it, seeing the Mandalorian, seeing the Jawas. I seen all the little Star Wars references, because I'm a Star Wars fan. Of course, you're going to enjoy those references, but it felt like it was references for references' sake. It felt like there was no story plot behind it, just because this episode felt very filler. Like, if it was a case of this could have been episode 1, just have episode 1 being an hour long, and then maybe the next one being half an hour long, just because the first one's an hour long. I don't understand why they had to separate these into 2 episodes when it could have just been 1 longer episode. It felt just kind of disappointing just because of that. But when it does come to episode 2, I found it to be disappointing. It wasn't as good as the first. I'm still looking forward to episode 3, and I'm going to finish this season, because I'm still intrigued with the Mandalorian story as well as the character. So if you've seen episode 2, let me know your thoughts down below. Click the subscribe button so you can come back next week to see episode 3's review. And as always, thanks for watching.